Hi, thanks for joining the high-level database workshop recording. We'll be starting in a few minutes when the rest of the attendees are here. Welcome to the workshop today, guys, where we're going to be looking at the high-level database, uh, working from sort of the basic to the more advanced features we've got in the high-level database. Okay, so I think we're pretty good with everyone here, so we'll make a start. Okay, can you see my screen now, Atticus? So it says unlock AI employee.
Yeah,
Okay, brilliant. So I've got a menu to work through today, guys. So starting off with contact records or objects, and then looking at the opportunity records, and then finally looking at custom objects. So that's pretty advanced and pretty new in high level, which to be honest, I haven't had any call to use yet, but I'll bring you up to speed so you know what's possible with that. So firstly, we'll look at the contact records and we'll start off. I've got this high level account here with no data in, nothing at all. So I can show you right from the start how we import data and you'll see all the functionality of the tool. Okay, so first of all, we'll go to the high level menu and go to contacts. And you can see here, this account has got no contacts in there. So previous to this, I made earlier, I made a list to import. So I used ChatGPT to create a 20 dummy records in an Excel spreadsheet. And then I converted that into a CSV file because we have to import the data as a CSV file. So I'm going to import that data now. So I'll have something to look at in here. So to import data, it's as simple as going to contacts, then going to here, you see import contacts. You can see we can import contacts and opportunities. So for instance, if you were moving from a different high level account to a new account, you could import any existing opportunities. You couldn't bring in opportunities from say Keep or anything, they wouldn't be compatible. So that's only for high level opportunity importing. So we're just focus at this moment, we're just focusing on the contact records or the objects as they're called in database terms. It's just a container for holding data. This is a contact record. Click on here, go to next. Navigate to the file to import it. Here's one I made earlier. So I'll import that. Hopefully it's CSV, which it is, yeah. I'm going to create an update contact. So obviously there's no data in here to update, but if I had data already, I'd be able to re-import contacts and update them if I so wished. I'm not going to do that yet. I'm just going to use the create update contacts. Click on next. Okay. You see here it's looking to map the fields to the existing fields in high level. You see here we've got first name going to first name, last name going to last name, email going to email. Then I've got some extra ones here. So the favorite color, so that would not be a standard field in high level. It's not like the email address or the first or last name, etc. So that would we'd accommodate that using a custom field. Yeah. And also in this field of data, I've got some tags in there. So we'll see those in a minute. So first of all, I need to accommodate this custom field. So in order to do that, I'm going to have to cancel this, I'm afraid. This always happens. Yeah, so cancel that and continue there. And I'm going to go to settings to create the custom field. So click on settings and I'll create go to custom fields. Okay. So not to be confused with custom values. Okay. So a custom field is as we know in all systems, it's for recording custom data against a contact. All in high level, we've also got custom values. So custom values is data relating to your business. Okay. So the use cases for this would be things like, say you wanted to set up a whole bunch of email templates, and as part of that, you wanted to include say your phone number. Yeah. So you could set up a custom value for your company phone number and store the phone number in that custom value. You could then merrily go away and create 20 or so, or however many template emails, web pages, funnel pages, and embed your custom field with your company phone number in those pages. Okay, so all your email templates have now got your phone number, but say in a year's time you needed to change your phone number, you can simply go into custom value, change it there, and it updates all your email templates, uh, your pages, your funnel pages, anything like that. So it's useful for things like logos. So you can have all your web pages in the system and automatically populate it with your logo. And if you change your logo, you just change the custom value link to the logo and it updates all your pages. So that's what a custom value is. We're using custom fields here.
May I ask you a question?
Yeah, certainly, Mike. Yep.
So, if we were to have replicated, I have a team. So, if I were to have my own system set up and want to replicate it, I can customize it for them using the custom values. Is that correct?
That's exactly it. Yes. So you could create as an agency, you could create a snapshot even, a complete setup for your team that's got everything in there, and then you can import it into their high level and simply go to their custom values and import things like links to logos, names, phone numbers, everything like that, and it customize everything in the whole setup. Yeah, that's the whole purpose of it. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So we've come to custom fields here, and you'll see here we've got these folders. So in a minute, when we look at the contact record, you'll see we've got three folders on this account. You can add as many folders as you want. So it's a way of organizing your custom fields. Okay, so I'm going to pop the color field into the additional info. So I'll add a field. You see we could go single line, date picker. Yeah, we can even have uploading files. So we can upload custom files of documents, images, things like that from a form and things like that. So I'm just going to use a single line here. Field name is favorite color. That's spelled right. Okay, favorite color. Oh. It's going to be on the object we're going to use is a contact. It's going to be on the contact record. It's not going to be on the opportunity record. Or you'll see here pet. That's a custom field I've set up, a custom object I've set up to show you later. So we're going to put it on the contact record in the group, additional info, and save that. So create the custom field now called favorite color. So go back to, it's best to prepare all your custom fields when you're doing import before you actually go through the import. Click on, so go back now. Go to contacts. So to start the import again, import contacts. So it's contacts. Click on next. Click on upload. Find the CSV file. I mean, there's no data in there, so it's going to update them, create our contacts anyway. Click on next. Now we can map the fields together. So we're missing the favorite color before, but now we should have the field. Favorite color, we'll map it to there. Also, in the field, the import I was bringing in from an external system, I could be bringing in the tabs for the comma separation. So I could actually recreate the tags automatically on import. Where is it? Tags. Okay, and we're ready to go. So sometimes you might not want to import one of these fields. Say I didn't want to import this one. You can see here, don't import data in the unmapped column. So I've got the option to ignore data if I so wish, but I'll bring this one in here now. Favorite color like that. Next. Okay. As I go to import the data, I can create them on a smart list. We'll look at smart lists later on. I can put them straight into an automation. I can even add tags to the whole list if I wish. So I could choose I'm not going to do that today because I'm not importing tags as I go. Click on confirm there and start bulk import. Give it a couple of seconds. So on a big list, it can take a while to do this, but it will then now import those contacts. So now we've got our contact records imported. You can see got the contacts. I've got them tagged. You see some had two tags with a comma separated, so it's created the tags. These are all dummy records. So I click on here. Now we're looking at a contact record in HighLevel. Okay, so the main areas to look at are on the left-hand side here. We've got all the fields like name, first name. You see an additional info there. I've got the favorite color now. That's come in from the custom import. I can see which tags have been applied. There's not much else to see there, but there's no opportunities created yet. We'll look at that in a minute. So that's where you see custom fields, your tags, any automation that are active in or been through, opportunities, etc. Here's obviously where we've got the conversation view. So the emails back and forth, the automated emails, texts, WhatsApp if you do the integration there, all that stuff goes on there. Here's a little window where we can send emails through the system. So if we had a phone number in here, then we'd have the option to, if we've got a phone number on the system, send a text, make phone calls from the system. If they contact us by Facebook, we could message them back by Facebook through this little window. Yeah. And then here you'll see the recent activities. So any forms they've filled in, any web pages have been on, all that sort of thing. Good there. Tasks. So here's where we can add tasks for you, your team, or whoever to action. We can add notes here. Here's where obviously we link into the calendar functionality of HighLevel. Documents here, so you can upload documents, images, whatever you want there. Also, if you're using the documents and contracts feature to create signed documents, electronic signed documents, they would automatically pop here as well. Payments, obviously, you can do the e-commerce here, taking transactions. And this final bit here, associations. This is to do with custom objects, the advanced bit I mentioned. So we'll come to that in a little while. So that's your contact record. We just created 20 of those to play with. Yep. So go back to the contacts here. Okay, so we've imported the data. So if you want to export the data for whatever reason, it might be to update it outside of HighLevel and then re-import it. So you can export the data. Okay. One trick to remember when you're exporting the data is when you do the export, so I click on here like that. Yeah. I've got all 20 records. I can do the export. It will export the fields that it sees on this window here. So if you go to columns, so if I wanted to export things like the date of birth, yeah, I'd have to make sure it's visible on here before I do the export. And then when I do the export, that field will be included. Yep, that's simple as that. So that's the importing, exporting there. Bear with me. Yeah. The system automatically dedupes on email and phone number as well. So that's really useful to do that. So I didn't import any phone numbers in here because we're doing a quick setup. I didn't want to get mixed up with the countries and things like that. So if a phone number is on here and I'll show you the settings for that, I can dedupe against phone number and emails. If you import contacts without a phone number, without an email, yeah, they will not appear here. It will ignore them. So if you're going to be importing contacts without a phone or email, you might want to sort of create them all with a dummy email address just to get them in there, like I've done here with test, just to create the contacts. And then later on, come in, do a search for all the email with test, and delete the email from the contact record. Just something to watch out for if you're importing contacts with no email, no phone number. I found that one out. There's the contact records. And just to do this, the settings for deduping, if you go to settings and then go to business profile, and then tucked at the bottom here, you should see here. Uh, Here's where we've got all our settings for deduplicate preferences. So if you want to, you could allow duplicate contacts. You've got the option to allow that, but you can find existing contacts based on email. And the secondary preference for me here is phone. You don't have to use that, but I keep it switched on anyway. That's where you select your duplicate preferences. So just going back to the contacts. Okay, so we're back in contacts again now. Okay, so how do we manage the data? So first of all, how do we manage the data? How do we make selections on the data and segment the data? And we use filters for that. We've got lots of filters to use here. Yeah, so you can explore those at your leisure. But the nice simple one, for instance, is based on tag. Yeah. The tag is, and I can say, okay, they've got to have a prospect tag. Yep. And I can build up a little search here. They've got this tag, not got that tag. They've got this custom field or whatever. So you can do some really advanced selections here. Are they in a pipeline? Are they active in a workflow? Have they been through a workflow? All these sort of options are available. But I'm just going to nice and simple. Just going to do it on tag here. Apply that. And you'll see here, it's obviously selected those three there. So I can do something with them now. Select them. But just going back to the filters here. Yeah. So now I've done the selection on the tags looking for prospects. I can now save that as a smart list, right? Um, it's like save list in HighLevel or in Keep or Infusionsoft. So save that as a smart list, and I can call it prospects, something like that. Okay, and you see across the top now, I've now got a list for prospects. Yep, that's a smart list, and that's dynamic. So as people have that tag added and taken away, they'll be added and removed from this list. Yeah, and you can manage your smart list there, like so. You can go and update it, so change the selections and things like that, or delete it. So you can do all that from there. You can share it with other users in your account. Yeah, if there's other users in the account, you can share it or not share it with them. That's a smart list, just a quick way of finding contacts. Right. Bear with me, just checking my list off here. Contacts, not change custom field or organizing custom field folders. Using filters. Okay, yeah. So coming back to contacts. So how can we manage our data in this in HighLevel? Yep. So first of all, we've got this little menu here. Yeah. And there's only so many options here. So for instance, if I wanted to delete these 20 people, I could highlight on here. Yeah. Watch out when you go over 20 records because the window only shows 20 records. If you want to select them all, you'd click on here and it'd say you've selected 20 records. Do you want to select the whole list? Click yes and you click it there. So watch out for that one. That's trips me up quite often. Yeah. But if I want to delete those 20 people, I could just delete them. Yeah. I could add a tag to them, remove a tag. I could send like a broadcast email to the list from here. I could send them a text if I've got the phone numbers. I could add them to automation. I could change the pipeline if we're in a pipeline. So I could import, export, of course. I can verify the emails. So if I'm importing a list from a third-party system, yeah, we can switch on email verification in HighLevel. And behind the scenes, using which is using Mailgun, before it sends the first email, it'll check if it's a valid email address. Yeah. So that's built into the software, and there's a small charge for that, but it's well worth it. It just runs in the background and it keeps the bounces low. In tools like Keep, we get emails saying, "Oh, your bounce are too high," whereas in HighLevel, you just switch that on. It just takes care of it, no problem. Yeah. And we can add company records, associate company records. Bulk WhatsApp, that's a new one on me. And we can merge records as well. We've got duplicates, we can merge them manually as well. So, for instance, if you're getting, if you linked it to if you synchronized your Facebook account, yeah, the contact will come in for Facebook, uh, but it might be the name Bob Smith. It doesn't give us an email address or a phone number. There's a setting in the settings, the business profile settings, where the system will try its best to match names to emails, but it's not obviously it doesn't have an email address to work with, so it'll try its best. But you will spot some manuals coming here where you'll be able to merge them with that tool. So this little menu allows us to do only so much, the basic stuff. Yeah. If you want to do updates to data in a more sophisticated way, then the workaround for that is to use what I would call a temporary workflow. So we set up a temporary workflow to a little recipe almost to update the contacts. So I'll give you an example of that one. So say I wanted to, I'll do a very simple one. Say I wanted to apply a new tag to all these records. Obviously, I could do it simply by just using this button. But what I show you in this case, the concept of using a workflow, because when you use a workflow to update the database, You've got infinite combinations of what you can do. Yeah. So go to automation. To accommodate these sort of workflows where it might be, you might only use it once ever. So you don't want to clutter your system with these temporary workflows, as I would call them. So I'd create a folder for in your automations called te uh, temp temper workflows can be deleted. So I would put them in a folder where I'm happy to delete them later on. They're not going to clutter my system with me thinking, should I, shouldn't I delete it? I know anything in there I can delete. It's not going to make any difference in the long term. I'll create that folder and I'll build a simple little workflow. I'll create a very simple one just to apply a tag to show you. So create a workflow, continue. I don't need anything like triggers. Don't worry about triggers. We'll do it manually in a minute. So if I want to apply a tag, I can go on tag. Or if I go to update, I'll show you update contact field. Yeah. So add the field, set the field, which we'll use is favorite color. Yeah. So if I wanted to make all records have the favorite color yellow, I can do that. Yeah. Save that. This is just a temp for workshop or workshop demo like this, something like that. For some reason at the moment it always puts workflow in the bottom. So let's save that now. Yeah. So that's all it's going to do. Just going to update that color field, say yellow. Let's publish that. Save that like so. That's ready to go. Now I'll come back. So that could be any combination. I can have tags, custom fields, create opportunities, tasks, notes, anything you want on your database. So now I'll go to the contacts. I'll just select them all like that. Drop it into a workflow. Just update color to yellow. Just got to put something in there. Automate, it's a workflow. I'm just drop it into my temporary workflow. Yep, there's only one in there. Send all at once, add to automation. Put them through the workflow, and it's then going to update those contacts. Hit progress. That's complete now. So go to contacts. So if I look at any of those contacts now, yep. So if you look at here, we go to columns. Where is it? Favorite color, like so. You can see now they're all yellow. There's a bit of a hack there. It's, to be able to, to change data in bulk. Um, yeah. The other part I want to show you on is how changing data on the contact record can trigger workflows. So go back to workflows again. So create a workflow, start from scratch. So the trigger, we'll look at triggers now. So a trigger could be a tag been applied or removed, contact tag, a tag added. Okay, so on the database, when a tag is added to a contact, that could trigger a workflow to automate it or to perform automation. Equally, and we don't have this in Keypoint Fusion, a tag being removed can be a trigger. So, for instance, when they become a customer, you might remove the tag prospect, and then that could trigger a workflow. That's one way. I'll just save that trigger like that way. Another way, you click on here. It could be contact changed. Use the filters again. So look here, custom field, favorite color. So see here, Anytime the field favorite color is changed, it will trigger the workflow. Or I could say has changed to, I could put yellow, like we just did. Yeah. So anytime the custom field not only changes, but changes to yellow, it could trigger the workflow. Okay, so I'll just save that. So that's come to the end of my section on the contact records and what we can do with the contact records. Any questions from anybody?
Uh, I see that you had the WhatsApp bulk. That's to bring in WhatsApp contacts. Is that right?
Let's have a look. I say, I mean, there's so many. The system's always changed, been updated. Like contacts. Um, so if I
Yeah,
change,
bulk WhatsApp.
I choose those two records there, and then I go to Butler.
Of sending it.
Yeah, so sending. So when you've got the WhatsApp integration plugged in, yeah, you can create marketing templates. Yep. So it's almost like a text message. You have a template for that marketing message, and then you can send that marketing message out to 1,000 people or 2,000 people, whatever you want to do. Yeah. There is a charge for that. They will charge you for that message because it's like a marketing message. Because you're starting a conversation off from scratch. For the WhatsApp integration, say somebody contacts you in the normal way on WhatsApp, you don't pay for that, but outbound sort of marketing messages to start a conversation, they do charge for that.
Is there a similar integration available for Telegram?
No, not at the moment. No, there isn't. No. Okay, Mike. Yep. Anyone else got any questions before we move on to the opportunity records?
Is there a dialer integration with the contact records?
Yes, there is. Yes, you can't see it on this one because I've not pulled any phone numbers in yet. And you need to set up a phone number in the system. So you'd have to register a phone number. I'll show you mine quickly. Da-da-da. So I don't think that's got. If if I look at myself, where's my this is my phone number on? So you see here, I could phone this number. Yeah. I could text this number as well. You see here, there's the WhatsApp. I haven't got the WhatsApp plugged into my system here. I've had the WhatsApp and go to WhatsApp with them from there. So this can be set up to record the calls, transcribe the calls. Yeah. Also, through the mobile phone app, so if you install the mobile phone app on your phone, you can make phone calls through the mobile phone app, yeah, and text through the mobile phone app, and then they get recorded onto the contact record and the history, etc. But you'd have to call through the
Uh,
mobile phone
on the recording of the calls, is that through an external app like Otter AI, or is that internal?
internal to HighLevel, yes, yeah. And does that, there is a small charge for recording and storing those calls, so yeah, so those are optional charges. Is that okay? Yeah, so coming to the phone numbers quickly to show you phone numbers while we're here, settings. Go to phone numbers. So here's where so the phone numbers behind the scenes are all in Twilio, but HighLevel makes it really easy to set up phone numbers. Okay, so if you want a phone number in the system, before you can watch out, because if you try and just add a number, you won't be able to do it. It'll error out every time. The reason being, if you're in the UK, you need to set up a regulatory bundle. Yeah, which consists of a bundle and an address. So you have to upload a document to prove who you are. Yeah, there's a compliance thing there. So that's for the UK. For the US, you have to go to Trust Center and set up the A2P messaging. Yeah. So you see here, if you look at my numbers, when I get inquiries coming from the States, I can't text them on this number. It will fail because it's not a US number, and then you need to be A2P verified. So I can text people in the US with this number I've got in the system. Yeah. Getting A2P verified can be a bit of a challenge sometimes, but the tech support guys are really good with that. they'll just get on with that. So it took them about a couple of weeks to get me set up because I'm in the UK. It makes it a bit more complicated, but you see there, it's all doable. So the tech support guys are great for helping you set up any of these things like that. So once you've got those A2P verified, you've got your regulatory bundles, then it lets you go and purchase a number there. Yep. If you want to connect directly to Twilio, you can do, but it's a bit of a ball ache. High level, just click, 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 and it's done in the system. Okay, I will. Is that okay, Mike? That makes sense. Hope so. Right. So moving on now to opportunity records. Go back. So here you see we've got a say. Obviously, we've got opportunities, sales pipelines in the system. There's a demo one sent there. Yep. So I can quickly add I can add an opportunities record from here, but we'll go back to the contacts. We'll find one of these test ones here, and we'll manually create an opportunity record. You scroll down here, you'll see opportunities there. I'm going to add an opportunity. That just creating, so just create that now, create that. So it's manually creating it. Obviously, the system can automate a lot of this. I just wanted to show you one opportunity. So now this contact has now got an opportunity record created. And if we go to the opportunities, you'll see it in there now. Okay. So this is an opportunity record. So we click on here like so. And we've got all the details pertaining to that particular opportunity. There's a separate record which is linked to the contact record. Yeah. And you can have additional contacts associated to this. Yeah. So all these fields here are preset. You can't change them, I'm afraid. You can't move them around. But what we can do is we can add opportunity custom fields. Okay. So if you want to add an opportunity custom field, we can manage it from here now, actually. So they just made it easier. So go back. They've made it easier to manage your custom fields on here. So click on here and add manage fields. You want to add a field. Yeah. So I might decide it's a single line. Next. And rather than create it on the contact object, I'm going to create it on the opportunity. Yeah. And this might be what would you call trying to think yeah, and I'll put in a type of product interested in, opportunity details. It could be date fields, currency fields, whatever you want. I'll add that opportunity custom field now. Yep. So if I go back to the, you should see now on the opportunities, I click on here like so. So I've got a custom field at the bottom here now. Yeah. And these custom fields can talk to contact custom fields. So through the workflows, you can push data from a contact custom field into a opportunity custom field. So for instance, say somebody fills in a web form with some data, the workflow could take that chunk of data in the contact custom field and move it and duplicate it into the opportunity custom field. So that that data becomes available when you work in the opportunity, and you can filter on opportunities based on custom fields and things like that. So there's a lot you can do there. Yeah, I'm just scratching the surface there. But
How do you set it up so that you know what calls you're going to make that day? So if you're making calls during the week, you already have a preset list of calls to go through.
well, there's lots of ways to do that. So one way you might want to do that is using the go to contacts, using the smart lists. Yeah. So you could add on a daily basis, you could add people to a smart list. When the calls are made, you might remove a tag to say they've got to be called, that then removes them from the smart list call list. That's just one way I can think off the top of my head. I'd have to think about it. It depends on the rest of the automation you're doing, whether to what you set up. Is that okay, mate? We could look at that. We could look at that further in depth later on, but I'd have to sort of sit down and think about that because there's so many things to consider.
Julian.
Hi, Steve.
Yeah, with the call list for each day, could you not just set up tasks for people who to be called on certain days, and then you just go to your task list every day and just go through them that way?
Yes, you could do that. Yes, and there's also an option to set up manual calls. So if you go to your, to show you on the dashboard here, hang on. So through the workflow, you can set up it's like a task, but it's called manual call. So you can have a list of manual calls you've got to make, and that can appear on your mobile phone, on the mobile phone app and everything there. I don't know if I've got it here. Hang on. Manual actions, you see. So you can have a list of manual actions. They could be send, make calls. It could be to send a text. So maybe the rep has to write a personal text rather than an automated one. Yeah, so it could be to, like Steve said, it could be tasks as well. There's lots of ways to skin a digital cat with that one. That okay, Mike, for now?
Thank you.
Yeah. Going back to the opportunities. I'll give time. Just check my time. Blimey, right. Yeah. So on the opportunity, so the opportunities, obviously, we looked at that in the previous workshop. You move them along like that. You can also customize these to make it look more useful in your use case. So you have to manage fields here. Yeah, you can hide certain elements. You can have up to 7 fields, I believe. The details. So unfortunately, I've got no custom fields. Well, I have got a custom field set up. Hang on, I'm quite interested. Yeah, so if I had that populated with type of product interested in, I could customize this to a degree to make it useful from a salesperson point of view. Um, 1 second. Okay, so that's basically covering the opportunities there. And I'll move on to the final bit, which is really sort of it's a very quite a new feature in high level, and it's still evolving as we speak. So this has become more and more powerful, but it's using the custom objects. Yeah. Uh, so this is a way of creating relationships between data and being able to automate off of it. Okay. So here's one I set up earlier called pets. Okay. So if I was something like, say, a veterinary surgeon, maybe childcare, a travel company. Yeah. So a travel company might have the lead passenger who makes booking, but there might be 5 different people in the party. Yeah. For childcare, you might have the parent as a contact, but they might have 1, 2, 4 kids or whatever, all with different names, different birthdays. In tools like Keep, we try and accommodate it using custom fields to do that. You have a custom field for child one, a custom field for child two name, a custom field for child one birthday, a custom field for child two birthday. Yeah, it gets really messy when you try and do that. With high level, so it's a new feature, so it's still evolving this. I was able to create on this menu here one called pets. So if I click on pets like that, yeah, here's some I created earlier, some pets here, yeah. Uh, So again, you can have more than one custom field. So if you're a veterinary surgeon, you might have the pet's name, you might have the veterinary surgeon that treats that pet, it might be the practice, the veterinary surgery location, and all those can be linked together. And then off of those linkages, we can then create automations later on. So for instance, if you look at Rocky here, yeah, you see Rocky, that's Rocky's name. I've got his date of birth. He's a dog, and I've got a picture of Rocky, yeah. So a contact might have 5 dogs, 5 cats, 2 birds. Very hard to do that in things like Keep, where you're using custom fields. It doesn't give you the flexibility that this does. And here, I mean, I've not had much use case for this yet myself. But here's where you can create the associations between the owners, the different records. Yeah, so me myself, I'd have to go tech support to work this one out when I need to. I've just not had a use case for it yet myself. So you got your pets there. If you look at, I mean, you've got Felix here, which I haven't quite, but you can upload. Yeah, so you can just create data. And once you see when you go to a contact now, you'll see here, if you go to a contact record, you see here you've got associations. So this is to do with being able to link those custom objects together. If you click on here, you'll start to see. You see, so for Danielle here, I can associate Danielle to a pet. Yeah, I can select the pets, I can select it to Rocky. So I've created that relationship now. Yeah, so that's the basics of it. Yeah. One of the limitations I found at the moment, so but I know it's something that they're working on, the developers, is uh, you can't use in the workflows, you can't use custom object dates as triggers. So for instance, if I had a custom field date for Rocky's next vaccination, yeah, because I can store the vaccination date, but it won't be a trigger to one day before the vaccination to trigger an automation. That isn't there yet in HighLevel, but it's on the way. And I think when they get that, it becomes super powerful. So just to show you the automation, now I've created that custom object, that pets one. To go to the automation, I now get, when I go to create a workflow, you'll see here, these are the standard for creating contact record workflows. You see here now I've got a pet-based workflow. So here the triggers are different now. You see here. So you see here. So when that pet record was created, I could trigger an automation. Yep. When it changes, pet changes. So you see here, the birthday's not appearing yet. I've got a birthday custom field. It's not appearing yet. So when that is available, it'll be super powerful. We don't have that quite now. But for instance, if you were to change the pet species has changed to a bird, for instance, yeah, that could be a trigger to trigger a workflow. And we could basically feed that back into contacting the pet owner to say, oh, your pet species has changed from dog to bird, for instance. So that's super powerful. You've got that sort of business where you're dealing with maybe childcare, pet vets, travel, things like that, where you've got multiple records you need to associate, and other systems can't do it with just custom fields. So that is me, guys. Basically covered the notes I had for databases and managing the contacts. Any more questions?
How many tags can you have in GoHighLevel?
Unlimited, yeah. This the same with custom fields as well, unlimited, yeah.
Do you have any experience with that AI assistant that was on the screen before we got started?
That's a whole other workshop there, Mike. Yeah, so very quickly, go back to mine, switch to agency view. Oh, sorry, not agency view, go to mine. There's nothing set up in that demo on there. So go to settings. The first one I show you is the voice AI. So again, I showed you the phone numbers in HighLevel I've got there. So that's one of my phone numbers there. And I've got a voice agent called Bob the Bot. Yeah, so here he's actually answering that phone number. Yeah. Now it's not quite there. It's getting close. It's getting more and more, it's getting better all the time, but it still sounds a bit tinny, shall we say? Uh, and if I go to edit it, you'll see here the settings. So it only works on inbound calls at the moment. Outbound calls are coming soon. Yeah. Here's the initial message I've got saying that Bob will say. Yeah. And I'm not trying to hide the fact that it's a bot or an agent, should we call it now? Because everyone can tell it's an agent, so I'm upfront about that. It's helping them out. You give it a voice, and then you give it the agent goals. Yeah, so you put your goals in there. It's all set up as templates in HighLevel. Yeah. Mine is set to uh, it will if someone says, can you forward a call to Julian, it'll forward it to Julian. If you want to speak to Atticus, it'll forward to Atticus. It'll book a call in my calendar. It'll take a message and transcribe it. It'll answer questions based on the knowledge center. You see here, whoever trained it. Can't see what the training is. But basically, I was able to point it to my blog. There's about 1,000 pages, and it trains itself to answer questions. Yeah. And then if you hear it, you see all the conversations in the conversation view, and you can monitor that. And you can, if it doesn't answer how you would have answered it, you can give it the thumbs down and tell it what you should have said, and so it learns as it goes along. So that's the, and you can trigger workflows to trigger after a call. So this is getting more and more sophisticated all the time. Yep. And it sends an emails to all the admins, transcript to the call. That's a voice AI for doing the voice calls. It's getting better all the time. Then we've also got conversation AI. So you'd use this for live chat on your website. Again, it's very similar. The one I'm using, you see as many as you want. You'd have a different bot for different parts of your website or different websites, all trained against different resources. This is my primary one here. You'll see here, if I go to edit here. So this one's an autopilot. This will actually get on with it and just answer it and have the conversations. Here's the bot training. You see here, I've had it crawling my website to get the answers. So it teaches itself, learns itself. You can have FAQ, you can load FAQs, and very shortly you'll be able to upload documents, spreadsheets, or things like that, so it can learn from those. You give it the goals. So on the live chat, there's two goals. It can just answer questions, or it can answer questions and look to book a call onto your calendar in HighLevel. Yeah, and you give it person. You can. What I did was you can take the built-in chat prompts here and just refine it using ChatGPT yourself to rewrite the prompts. Yeah, and there's all other areas of AI as well. There's AI to build funnels, to build workflows for you. There's AI to create content, to create images. Uh, what else is that? Yeah, it's growing all the time. It's rapidly expanding that area. Is that okay, Mike?
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, we're going to do, last week, Atticus and I realized we need to do a whole AI workshop. So we had another one to the program, an AI workshop one. So we'll get better at it as well. All right, guys, any more questions? We're not bored everyone to death.
Yeah, Julian, can I just ask again? You did sort of mention it briefly. What I'd like to do is inquiries that come in, or contacts that I add, say from a networking meeting or something like that. I'd like them all to go into the first stage of the pipeline,
Yes.
so that it's another way of knowing who you got to follow up on, because they're basically they'd be as a, I don't know, new inquiry or something, or prospect or something like that.
Yeah.
How do you automate that process from, say, completing a form to going straight into, they're obviously going into the system, but also going on to the step one of the pipeline?
Yeah, so no problem. So that's quite straightforward. Well, so you do that again. We use the workflows for that because that's where we do the bulk of our work. So first of all, Steve, if you're at a networking meeting, yeah, in the mobile phone app, you can scan business cards in there, so you can get them in straight from the business card as well as the form. Yeah, but if you just use I'm using mine now. So go to where are we? Automation. Yeah, so I'll just create a new one. Move out of the way. So start from scratch. Just moving things around here. So the trigger would be when a form is filled in.
Yeah,
Yeah, so type in form submitted. We're not doing Facebook advertising. It's a form that you would submit. Yeah, obviously you design in the site section and forms. You design your form.
yeah,
Yeah, I've got one here made earlier. I've got one form is contact us form for websites, whatever form it is. Yeah,
yeah,
then let me moving things out of the way. Save the trigger. So when you fill that form in, or anyone else, Click on here, type in opportunity. Oh, sorry, I've got that wrong. So that's been sort of superseded that by this new one here, this beta one. Create opportunity.
Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah. In the pipeline, so I would put it into my main sales pipeline, and then I'm going to customize that opportunity. So obviously I'm going to put the name in there, the opportunity name. So it might be the contact name, contact full name. And you might put in here from networking meeting. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Customize the thing. And you can add what other fields in here, the deal value, the deal value. You might say it's £1,000, something like that. Yeah. You might then also add a note to the contact to say that you met them at that event. Type in note, add to notes. We put a note in met at XYZ event. Something like that. Hit the action. And then also we could notify you or one of your team about the new contact or the new opportunity. So we could do internal notification. Internal notification. So we can send it by email, by text, but notification is on the mobile phone app. So it ping you on the mobile phone app. Yeah, ping on the mobile phone app. You click on the message, it'll bring up the opportunity record straight away
Brilliant. Okay.
on the phone. Is that
Yeah,
okay?
that's really good. Yeah. And you
Okay,
can retrospectively add things to workflows, can't you, by clicking the cross above the action?
exactly. Yes, yeah, yeah. So you can do that. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can add more things in there. Update contact field. Yep.
Great stuff. Thank you very
And
much.
Steve, you can copy all the elements. You know how to copy things and delete things in this workflow. You remember that? So here, for instance, I click on here and I could copy that. I could copy that one step or the whole step from that point downwards.
Right. Okay.
Like that. I could delete stuff, move it about, I could do anything. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just duplicating workflows in the past. So, you clone a workflow from the outset, do the whole lot.
Yeah, you can clone the whole workflow. You can clone portions of it. Yeah, copy everything basically. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's really useful. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else got any questions? Everybody okay? Okay then. So we'll wrap up for today then. So what's the next workshop? I guess where are we up to?
With me 2 weeks today, forms, surveys, and quizzes.
Okay, so it's forms, quizzes, and surveys. So in HighLevel we can do not only forms like you can with every other system, we can do surveys. So that's great for qualifying leads. We've got conditional logic in there, so as they fill in the survey, you can qualify your leads. And that's just got an upgrade yesterday, actually. So they've got more functionality in there. And then we've got quizzes as well, which is a bit like Score App. Um Not maybe as sophisticated as Score App, but it's built into HighLevel. And it's useful for, putting through contact through a quiz, uh, which is more of a sort of fun element for people, to find out what type of animal they are or whatever you're doing there. So we've got that built in as well. Okay, guys, there's no more questions, then we'll wrap it up.
I'm pretty sure it's everything.
Brilliant. Okay, I hope you got value, guys, and we'll see you on the next one in 2 weeks' time. Hi there. I hope you enjoyed that workshop on the database management, and that's just one of our workshops. So you should see now a QR code on the screen where you can go to a menu to book up for our other live workshops when they're available, and also a QR code to book a discovery call with us if you want to talk in more detail about your particular requirements on HighLevel. Okay, cheers now.